Well, students, now we will do the question number 11. It says the length, breadth, and thickness of a rectangular sheet of metal are 4.234 meter, 1.005 meter, and 2.01 centimeter, respectively. Give the area and volume of the sheet to correct significant figures. So, here we have been given length is equal to 4.234 meter. Breadth is 1.005 meter, and thickness is we can take h. It is equal to 2.01 meter. First of all, we should see what are the significant figures in these three: length, breadth, and height. In this case, four significant figures are there. In this case, also four significant figures are there. But here, three significant figures are there. So, our minimum significant figures are three. So, we have to report our answer in only three significant figures, which is the minimum. So, now we can find out area is nothing but 2L plus B plus H, and volume will be nothing but L into B into H. Now make these calculations and ensure that answer should be reported in three significant figures only. This is the important point in this question. If you don't report your answer in three significant, then you may go wrong. Now we will go to the next question. The mass of a box measured by a grocer's balance is 2.3 kg. Two gold pieces of bases 20.15 gram and 20.17 gram are added to the box. What is the total mass? The difference in masses of the pieces to correct significant figures. So here again in this question also same thing is there. There are mass of the box is there, that is through 2.30 kg, and gold pieces masses are 20.15 gram. So convert this thing into correct correct units. Like that, 20.17 gram it will be here 0 here, it will be kg, correct? Now all your units are in kg. Now you can add them and just see the correct significant figures the answer should be reported in. Like in this case, 3 significant figures are there. In this case, 4 are there. In this case also, 4 are there. So you have to report your answer in correct significant figures. That is minimum number of significant figures, that is 3. This is in case of addition. In case of subtraction, just see here, 2 places are there after the decimals. So answer should be reported in 2 places only. So the rest of the calculation part you can do, and we can go to the next question. Question number 13. It says a physical quantity P is related to 4 observables A, B, C, and D as follows. It is given P is equal to A square, B square, root C into D. Naturally, if you will expand it in terms of relative error or percentage error, let us first expand it by the relative error. It will be like this. It is basically 3. So it will be 3 C. The power of C is half. So it will be half. Sorry. Plus delta. These all will be in plus because we are going to find out the maximum error. So we have to take plus only. If we take minus, then it may equalize the error and you cannot reach the maximum error. So maximum error, finding out the maximum error is very important in case of our scientific calculations. Here it is in the denominators root C and D, but still it is on the plus side because to find out, so that we can find out the maximum. Now naturally your percentage error will be nothing but correct. Now these things are given. Delta A by A into 100 is given. That is 1%. So 3 into 1% plus 2 into 3%, 4, 1 by 2 into 4 and 2%. So if you find out this will be 3, 6, 9, 9, 2, 2, 4. That is 13%. So error will be in the measurement of delta P will be of the order of 13%. Now they are saying that suppose 3.7 P is 3.763. So here you see it is 13% and your least percentage is basically 2%, and that shows it will be, it may go only up to 1 decimal place. So we have to round it off to 1 decimal place. This will be our answer. Now let us go to the question number 14. In this question we have to find out whether these equations are homogeneous or not, or equations are correct or not dimensionally. So let us see one by one. A, it is y a sine 2 pi t upon t. Now in this question, what is the dimension? This is basically distance. So it will have dimension of L. This is amplitude. This will also have the dimension of L. Now this should be dimensionless because it is the argument of sine. It should be dimensionless. And here in this case, it is t. So dimension of time is t. It is also t. The dimension of time is t. Both cancels out. What remains is 2 pi and it is dimensionless. So this question is correct. This equation is correct basically. Now, what about B? B part y is equal to A sine V and T. Here there is no problem. L is there. L is there. There is no problem. What about argument? Argument is L T minus 1. This is for the velocity into T. It is basically T. So this is not, to argument is not dimensionless because T cancels out, but still L is remaining. So this is incorrect. Now see, Y is equal to A upon T sine T upon A. So here, let us see first the argument. It is again T time, T is there, so T divided by A is what? L. It is the amplitude, that is the maximum displacement of the particle. So again, this argument is not dimensionless. On this basis only we can say this is incorrect. Then let us say D, Y is equal to A root 2 sine 2 pi T upon T plus 2 pi T upon T. Here argument is dimensionless because T upon T, no problem. T upon T again, no problem because dimensional. So as far as this is concerned, no problem. Here it is L and here also it is L. So what remains? L is equal to L. That means this equation is correct. So based on the principle of homogeneity of dimensions, we can find out whether the formula is correct or incorrect. Now let us see question number 15. It says a famous relation in physicists relates to moving mass m to rest mass m0 of a particle in terms of its speed v and speed of light c. This relation first arose as a consequence of special relativity due to Albert Einstein. A boy recalls the relation almost correctly but forgets the where to put the constant c. He writes like this. So basically what he writes, let us see. M is equal to m0 upon 1 minus v square 1 by 2. Now let us put the principle of homogeneity of dimensions, dimensional homogeneity. Here, what is the dimension of the mass? That is m. And what is the dimension of the mass? m0, that is m. That means here whatever dimension is coming of 1 minus v square upon 1 by 2, it should be dimensionless, because here it is m, here also it is m. So these two things are equated. When equated, they satisfy the principle of homogeneity of dimensions. So this has to be dimensionless. Means this denominator, what is this? 1 minus v square 1 by 2. How to make this thing as a dimensionless? The simple formula is whatever dimension of v is there, you put in the denominator the same thing and they will cancel out. Now this velocity, its dimension is Lt minus 1, and speed of light, it is also a speed, so it is also having the same dimension. So since they are, it is v square by c square, this their dimension will cancel out. So this is how we can make the denominator as dimensionless. So our new formula will be m0 1 minus v square upon c square 1 by 2. Correct? So this is the correct formula. This is how we can find out from the dimensional analysis. It's very simple. Now we will see what is this question number 16 of NCERT book. This says unit of length convenient on the atomic scale is known as an angstrom and is denoted by angstrom, that is 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to, this we already know. Please memorize this unit. This is a very important unit. Angstrom. The size of a hydrogen atom is about 0.5 angstrom. So size means it is diameter. Diameter is given dia of hydrogen atom. It is 0.5 angstrom. Correct? So naturally, radius will be radius r of hydrogen atom will be 1 by 2 into 0.5 angstrom, or we can write it as 0.25 angstrom. No problem. Now volume, naturally volume of one atom of hydrogen will be nothing but volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. You can put the value of r from here and you can find out the volume. Suppose it is V. Now it says what is the atomic volume in meter cube of mole. This we can change into meter cube from angstrom to meter cube. Please do remember to change the unit from angstrom to meter cube, or you can write it as 0.25 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. Now, if you put the value of R in meters in this formula, then it will give you the volume in meter cube. And 1 mole of hydrogen will contain how many atoms? 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. This is Avogadro's number. Please do remember this also. Now, so volume of 1 mole of hydrogen will be nothing but V, whatever V is coming from into 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. So this will be your answer. Correct? This was very simple problem. The only thing is they are testing your knowledge regarding the Avogadro's number, angstrom units and all like that. Now we will see question number 17 of NCERT chapter units and measurement. This says 1 mole of ideal gas at standard temperature and pressure occupies 22.4 liter. This is basically molar volume. Molar volume. This is the volume of 1 mole. That is given as 22.4 liter. And 1 liter, you already know, 1000 cc, or this can be written as meter cube. Correct? These conversions, you please remember how to convert all these things. So this is molar volume given. What is the ratio of molar volume to atomic volume of a mole of hydrogen? In the previous question, in question number 16, we have find out whatever question number 16 answer is coming, it will come here with correct units in meter cube or something. We can find out this ratio. Okay. This ratio will be very large. What is this basically? Question number 7, this is basically atomic volume. What we did? We took the size of the hydrogen, we found out the volume of one atom, and then multiplied by Avogadro's number that is total number of atoms, and we found out the total atomic volume. But total atomic volume, basically it will be very less in comparison to molar volume. Uh, we know that at normal temperature and pressure, gas occupies 22.4 liters, and this is with all the gases, and this molar volume is same for all the gases. So, and this ratio is very large. That means the gases, the interatomic spaces between the gases is basically very large. Like they are widely apart in comparison to their sizes, atomic sizes. The spaces between them is very large. Like that. Okay. So we can say that interatomic distances between the atoms in the molar volume is very large. That's why this ratio is very large. Now, let us solve the question number 19. The principle of parallax is used in determination of distances of various distance stars. The baseline AB is the joining the Earth's two locations 6 months apart, and that baseline is about the diameter of Earth's orbit. So basically, it is the Earth's orbit. Here, Earth is there. These two locations are 6 months apart, and this is your Sun. This distance is given 3 into 10 raised to 11. This complete distance. This is the diameter. So this is dia. So naturally, orbit's radius will be 1.5 into 10 raised to 11. Correct? Simply divide by 2. However, even the nearest stars so distant that with such a long baseline, they show parallax only of 1 hour. Passing is a convenient unit of length on astronomical scale. It is the distance on an object that will show a parallax of 1 hour from opposite end of a baseline equal to the distance from the sun to the earth. So this is the distance from the sun to the earth, and this is going to make an angle, one arc, or you can say write it as one arc, and this distance is defined as 1 parsec. So with this question also, you can define the distance, what is 1 parsec is equal to. So what is this distance basically? It is nothing but, suppose this is B, this is D, so B upon D is equal to 1 arc. Hmm. B we know, D we have to find out, so D will be nothing but B is 1.5 into 10 raised to 11 meter, and one arc will be the distance in radian. One arc we can write it as divided by pi. 180 degree is what? 180 degree is nothing but pi radian, or here you can do, this is one arc, so what is one arc? One arc in radian, one arc in radian will be nothing but your 180 degrees pi radian, so pi upon 180 degree, and how many arcs will be in 1 degree? That will be 3600. So into, so this, if you put this value here, then this will give you 1 parsec. Whatever answer is coming in meter. This is what is asked in the question. So question is very easy. The only thing is it's very lengthy. So most of the students, they may not read it fully. Otherwise, question is very, very easy. Now we will go to the question number 20. It says the nearest star to the solar system is 4.29 light years away. How much is this distance in terms of parsecs? Actually, we saw in the last question what is parsec. Now let us see what is light year. Light year is basically nothing but one light year is nothing but distance covered by light in 1 year. And what will be this? This will be nothing but, what is the speed of the light? That is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second into how many seconds in will be there in 1 year? Those will be 365 into 24 into 3600 seconds. So this, whatever answer is coming after calculation, this is equal to 1 light year in meters. Correct? Now, 1 parsec is basically 3.08 into 10 raised to 16 meter. In 4.4.29 light year into this answer divided by 3.08 into 10 raised to 16. This is also meter and this is also meter. So this will give you how many parsecs are there. So this is one part. How much parallax would be? Would this be? Would this star Alpha Centauri show when viewed from the two locations of the Earth's 6 months apart in this orbit? So it is again the same thing. This is your sun, this is your Earth, and Earth is separated by two 6 months position. So this is asking how much this parallax will be there, means this theta we have to find out. This distance actually from the last question it is given, or it will be given in the question paper. In this question it is not given, but it will be given in the question paper. D we know 4.29 light year. This this is the star. So now we can find out what is theta. It will be nothing but like this. Theta, it will be in the radian, because this will be in meter, this will also be in meter, this will come out as in radian, and this radian can be converted into arc. Degree, minutes, seconds, like this can be converted into arc. So this is the question number 20.